Welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? Hope you guys are doing great. And it is Thursday night here. Tonight we are not gonna have coffee. No coffee because I ran out of coffee. I had a choice between going out to buy to replenish my instant coffee, going to a grocery store run, or I could do insect macro photography. So I went to the park and do some insect macros so I can share some photographs with you guys. So by the time I finished, it was already so late. I gotta rush back home, had dinner, and prepare for this stream. So no coffee for tonight for a change. Don't worry, I'll stay awake. All right, I'll stay awake. As usual, before we go too far, I just want to make sure the audio and visual is okay. I see that there's some people telling me already, Jari, thanks for the update. Audio and video okay. I'm guessing for everyone else it's okay. Just maybe wait for 1 or 2 more feedback. Let me know if you can see this video feed fine. If you can hear my audio, is the microphone working? Let me know before we go too far, and maybe I'm just talking to myself. Thanks, Jari, for the update. Just want to wait for one more. And yes, Andrew, thank you so much. Andrew says, apa kabar Robin? Kabar baik. Video cantik, audio cantik. Thank you so much, Andrew. And hi, Andrew. How are you? Rowan Capture says, I also got a TT Artisan 25 f2 yesterday. It's really solid for $90. I bought it for Astro Photos. Wow, a manual focusing lens. I guess Astro makes sense. The stars, I can't say that they don't move, but they are relatively still enough for you to use a tripod. So no autofocus, not a big issue. So yeah, and they're far away enough, right? So they are far enough for you to use infinitive focus. All right, let's say hi to non-members. Kumar says, hello. Hey, Kumar, how are you? Rar Photography says, Service Robin. Service means hello in Austria. I've been really enjoying using the Panasonic 15 f1.7 lately, but the DJI version, since it's cheaper on the used market compared to the Panasonic. I'm very impressed with the lens and can recommend it to everyone. What do you think? Best regards from Frosty, Austria. You are seeing me through the Panasonic 15 f1.7. I have the Panasonic version, and I have made a video about this lens before. If you haven't seen it, I'll pull out the link for you in a bit. I do like the lens. I treat it like a 28mm equivalent lens, although we do have a 14 f2.5 from Panasonic, which is smaller, lighter, a pancake design. I think it's the smallest pancake lens with autofocus, 4 micro four thirds, and that's a great lens. But the Panasonic 15 f1.7 just slightly larger and slightly longer, but so much brighter. F1.7 versus f2.5, it is a better lens, and I've been using the lens a lot for my street photography. I also use the lens for making my videos. So of course, for my talking head videos on this channel, we have the 45 f1.8. I talked about that already. I mentioned that I use the 45 f1.8 to get the nice background blur, the bokeh for my talking head shots. But for B-rolls and everything else, I use the Panasonic 15 f1.7. So if you haven't seen my video on the Panasonic 15 f1.7, let me just pull out the video if you want to find out about my thoughts on this lens. Let me see if I can bring it up. How come it's not showing? I have to go in here. Give me a moment. There it is. So Panasonic 15mm f1.7 mini review. All right, there you go. It's in the chat. Please check it out, RAR, if you have not done so. Let's get to the members first. If you're a member, you get priorities for my responses to you. All right, that's one of the perks. Hey, Gregory, how are you? Nice to see you here. Rowan Capture says, how can you run out of coffee? It's one of the worst things that could happen to someone. Well, I made some coffee this morning. I knew it was running out. So I had a choice. I didn't go out from the house. I need to finish some editing. So I finished my edits, and then it was time for lunch. And then I went out, had a meeting. And then after that, I decided whether I want to go to the grocery store or do some insect macro shooting, and I decided to do macro instead, which took about 3 hours. Chris says, hello Robin and all, it's It's got cold here after weeks of milder than usual autumn weather. I guess it's time of the year again. Chris, nice to see you here. Andrew says, hey Robin, I bit the bullet and got the Panasonic 15 f1.7. Brand new, couldn't find use. Oh, okay, I would say that it is my current WOW lens. Really like it. All right, I'm glad that you really love it. I like it, but I wouldn't categorize it as my WOW lens. I can totally see how you treat it as a WOW lens, how the lens has impressed you. I do really love it a lot. I use it a lot on my Panasonic GM1. I use it a lot for my video as well, as I've just mentioned. And yeah, it's generally a great lens, definitely. James says, good morning from Philly, no coffee. It's like a horror story, right, happening. Har says, good morning, Robin and chat. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Yumi says, hi, Robin. Hi, everyone. Hope your day has been good. It's been busy and productive and good. Yes. Vapagamuka says, good evening, Robin. Good evening to you too, Vapagamuka. Thanks so much for the update. Thanks, Jari and Vapagamuka, for the update. Thanks, Car. Thanks for the update as well. Clemens says, hi, Robin. I can see and hear clearly. Thank you so much, Clemens. Appreciate that. Jerry says, hi from Finland. Winter and snow is beginning. Below 0 degrees already. Wow, it is. Oh yeah, it is November. I forgot how fast time flies, and we're at the end of the year already. We're moving very close to December. Yeah, it's almost 0 degrees, or below 0 degrees Celsius most of the time. Wow, that is really cold. Dave says Olympus 12-40 f2.8 Pro is an outstanding lens. I agree, but is it a wow lens for you? Does it wow you? No worries, sir. Vapagamoga says the Olympus 25 f1.8 surprised me, and I use it for fashion studio shoots. It is now my go-to lens for studio and flower photography. All right, 25 1.8 is my go-to lens for a lot of my street work as well, because I love 15mm equivalent. The lens is just so small, so light, super sharp, beautiful bokeh. Just overall a wonderful lens. I use it a lot for typically just do like portrait of strangers or even environmental portraits. So I just step away a little bit. Yeah. Chris says, not a disaster here in the UK. I did run out of tea yesterday. That really is a disaster. Yeah, in the UK, no tea, right? That's truly a disaster. Yes, coffee is life. I agree with you, Andrew. Definitely coffee is life. Jerry says, many lenses are great. My favorite is a little strange. It's Samyang 300 f6.3. Small, light, sharp. Closest focus is only 90 centimeters. Magical thing. All right, that's great. That's a very long lens. Andrew says, my other WOW is definitely the 25 f1.8 and 45 1.8. Just so compact to bring around. Yeah, definitely. Mindo says, hi Robin, I just bought the Yongnuo 1235 f2.8 to f4, not 3.5 to f4. It's f2.8 to f4, new for about 60% of the price of the used 1235 f2.8. I'm guessing you're referring to the Panasonic. Do you have anything more to say apart from the review? Nothing much, really. It's a general lens. It does quite well. It doesn't do it better than the Olympus 12-40 f2.8. I don't have the Panasonic 12-35 f2.8 to compare. I still think the Olympus is sharper, and I prefer to work with a constant aperture, especially when I'm shooting events and I use flash and I control my flash manually. So when the aperture varies from f2.8 to f4, I need to make a mental note to keep changing my flash power every time I zoom. So that's a little bit of inconvenient. But other than that, if you don't use flash, if you have plenty of light to work with, if you don't mind the darker f4 or the longer end, I think it's a great lens. Yeah. Andrew says the Panasonic 20 f1.7 is alright, but I wouldn't say it completely floored me, but it's really nice and compact to bring around. Yeah, I never liked the Panasonic 20 f1.7. I mean, it's not a secret. Everyone knows that I don't like that lens, right? Roar and Capture says, my WOW lens that I own is the 40-150R, but my dream WOW lens is 40-150 f2.8. Yes, actually the 40-150R, the kit zoom lens, telephoto budget zoom lens, is actually quite a WOW lens. And I've talked about this many times before. I've made like at least 5 videos talking about how much that lens surprised me, and it just punches way above its weight. That lens, do not underestimate what that 40-150R budget can do. It is a fantastic lens. I even use it for my jobs, and well, my clients doesn't even know that I'm using a budget lens. It just produces excellent results. Yeah. Every lens post 2025 makes me go, wow, okay, my grandfather is still not dead. The more serious answer is 12-40 f2.8 Pro. The sharpness wowed me when I first got it. Yeah. Olympus put a lot of effort in designing the 12 to 40 f2.8. I remember speaking to the engineers as well as the marketing people from Japan, from Olympus Japan, directly when the lens came out, and it was the first pro lens from Olympus for the Micro Four Thirds system, right? The first pro lens. So they were very particular about getting everything right in the lens. Like it can go really close, the sharpness is incredible, the bokeh quality is beautiful, is well corrected for distortion, chromatic aberration, like there's not much corner softness and no vignetting, so everything is very, very well controlled. That lens is superb, and you know it's the kind of lens where if you just need one lens, a really, really high quality, top notch for professional use, 12 to 40 is definitely the lens to start with, and perhaps the only lens that you need for most of the time if you don't need anything longer than that, right? So yeah, let me read a few more comments and then we'll start with the updates of what's happening in my life. Not much updates really, not much updates. Chris says 45 1.8, wow. 60 f2.8 macro, wow. 40 to 150 f2.8, wow. 300 f4, wow. So the 40 f2.8, meh? Really? Why? I would think that the 12 to 40 is one of the more wow lenses from Olympus compared to, I mean, if you compare, you can't really compare that lens to any of the previous lenses, right? Because they're not in the same range. But if you compare with any of the counterparts or similar focal length zoom lenses from other manufacturers, you'll see that the 12 to 40 f2.8 is quite a wow lens. And 50 to 200 f2.8, wow. Yeah. All right, let's read one or two more comments. Serafin says 17 f1.2 and Panasonic 25 f1.4 are my wows. Okay, yes, the Olympus 17 1.2. It's quite an interesting lens. And Panasonic 25 1.4, not that wow for me. And I've said this before and I got burned alive. There was a bloodshed happening all over. Someone just threw nuclear bombs all the way here, so no, I'm not gonna revisit that. Clement says, I think most wow for me was Laowa 7.5, although I don't use it that often. Okay, any reason why that lens is a wow lens? Please share. Musician Lucas says, no one's talking about the Olympus 40 to 150. I'm guessing you're talking about f4 to 5.6. We just talked about it, right? So it's 40 to 150. f4 to 5.6R. We just mentioned that earlier in someone's comment. Let me just trace it back if I can still find it. I lost the comment already. So many comments. Anyway, there's no point. We just talk about it. Like, why is such a wow lens? We just mentioned that, right? If you missed it, like just minutes ago. Eldon says, hello Robin, I'm impressed by my 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro. Truly a great lens, very sharp, perfect range for travel, not too big, weather sealed, and we can almost do macro with it. Then comes the 45 f1.8. Yeah. I'm gonna put a pause here. Don't worry, I get to every single chat. That's what we do here on this live stream, but just want to give a quick update on what's happening in my life. On Monday, I released a new video talking about why this camera is so popular. This is the Panasonic Lumix GM1. It's the tiniest interchangeable lens camera in the world. I think a lot of people will challenge me and say, oh, Robin, Pentax Q is smaller. Well, guess what? In that video, I have Pentax Q side by side compared with this GM1, and this GM1 is smaller. And it's not just being the smallest, right? It has like large Micro Four Thirds sensor. It has all the perks and benefits of a Micro Four Thirds system. You can chuck any of the wow Micro Four Thirds lenses on it and use it, right, on this GM1. And there's something really fun using something so small, so light, especially for travel, for everyday carry, for street photography, for casual use. I definitely think this camera is one of the best out there, if not the best. And of course, some people actually mention in the comments saying that, oh, it's too small. It's not comfortable to hold. The buttons are hard to press. Not enough shortcut buttons. Not enough dials. It's very hard to do anything serious with it. People prefer like bigger cameras like EM5 or Pen F. Of course, I'm not gonna use this camera to shoot a wedding. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not gonna use this camera to do like inside macro photography. Like, I need a proper grip, right? Like, the point is there are many cameras out there and we are not lack of options. If I were to do something serious, of course bring my OM1 and EM1 Mark II to do like wedding shoot or event or stage photography or mini concert or whatever that pays the bills, right? Because I do paid shoots. And for my personal photography, like I just did insect macro photography, I brought the OM1 because the grip is larger and more comfortable to hold, right? And it has image stabilization and electronic viewfinder. All these things factor in to create a better shooting experience. But it doesn't negate that this GM1 is not a great camera. Like, different cameras for different purposes. I don't want to carry the OM1 or the EM1 Mark II for my street photography because it's just too large. I prefer something smaller like this, right? It's just so much easier to fit into a smaller bag. I don't even have to carry a large camera bag. And I don't want to carry, let's say I'm going to hang out with my friends at a cafe. I'm not going to bring an OM1 and a 300 f4, right? That's crazy. So I'm just going to bring this. And this 7 Artisans 18mm f6.3 lens or kit lens. The Panasonic 12-32 kit lens. That's perfectly doable for shooting some photos of a cake or a cup of coffee or fancy hipster food, overpriced food in a cafe and get some snapshots of my friend. This GM1 is more than good enough. Like, I don't need an OM1 for that. I'm not getting paid, right? And it still gives me fantastic image quality. I still get the benefits of Micro Four Thirds. And there's nothing wrong owning multiple cameras, right? Like, who's to say, oh, my camera must have this. No electronic viewfinder, no go. I'm like, wow, that is, yeah. I can understand how some people can be very particular about certain things, but then again, I think a little bit of flexibility goes a long way. And if you can't see why this camera is so popular in the market, like why it's in such a high demand and why the price in the used market has soared incredibly high, then yeah, I guess, yeah, there's no point talking, right? Like, you already made up your mind that this camera is not for you. So anyway, this was for Monday. I had fun making that video. I shared some of my street photographs there. Last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I was not in Kuala Lumpur. I was out of town. I went down south to Johor and I did some photo sharing session for Ricoh GR Malaysia. So actually, technically, it's Futuromic, the distributor that brings in Ricoh Pentax in Malaysia. Is Futuromic. So Futuromic organized this event. It was at Sutaya Bookstore at Aeon Tebrau City in Johor. So over the weekend, I went over to JB Johor, stayed there for one night. I wanted to do some street photography on Sunday morning, but unfortunately it rained. So yeah, JB, next time. I'll do street photography there next time. And I know it wasn't a heavy rain, it was just some drizzle, but I don't want to fall sick. I don't want to appear I don't want to be not 100% when I'm there presenting to an audience, right? Because I was brought all the way from Kuala Lumpur, so the least I could do is just make sure that I'm 100% when I'm speaking to the audience. And yeah, I shared about my experience using the GR4. I shared my photographs there, and it was a fun session. We had about 25 people who attended the session, and there were GR4 cameras there for everyone to try as well. So yeah, thanks for everyone who came. If you went to this event last Sunday, please identify yourself, say hi. There was some long-time supporter. I had some people who came up to me and say, "Hey Robin, I've watched you or I followed you on your blog since even before the YouTube days," and that was like more than 10 years ago. So yeah, those are really special. So thanks for those of you who have come up to say hi. All right, I think pretty much that's it. Nothing else happened this week. I had a few shoots, small jobs there and here. I'm meeting a few clients, delivered shots to clients, nothing much. And did not have shutter therapy last weekend because, well, I was in JB and I couldn't do street photography because it was raining. I talked about this already. But I did go out to do some inside macro photography earlier this afternoon because I suddenly had some free time and I thought to myself, what can I do? Well, the park is nearby and the weather is not too hot, and my flash batteries were fully charged, so I thought, yeah, why not just go out and have some fun and see what I can catch. So I'll be sharing those inside macro photographs later, and that's pretty much it for now. Nothing much happening at the end of the year, I think. Nothing that I'm aware of, especially in Kuala Lumpur. So yeah, so the topic for today is very, very simple. What is your wow lens, right? And it's a very general question. Everyone is different. We all do different photography and we all have different preferences. And what is a wow lens for me may not be a wow lens for you. I think this question is a bit different from what is your favorite Micro Four Thirds lens. Like your favorite lens may not be the wow lens. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but let me explain. The first wow lens from Micro Four Thirds to me was the 45 1.8. Why the 45 1.8 was a wow lens? Because this lens, this is attached to the EPL7. This lens is so small, so light, and yet it is f1.8, and it's so sharp and produces beautiful bokeh. When I first reviewed this lens, I was instantly mind blown. The image quality that came out from it, the kind of shots that I got, the rendering of the lens is so organic, it's so natural, it's so pleasing. It just makes you want to use the lens more and more and more and more. I just have to make excuses and find reasons to use the lens, although there's no reason to use it, if that makes sense. It's just... Of course, it's become my favorite lens over the years. It's no secret. I've talked about how the 45 1.8 has become my bread and butter, how this lens is perhaps the one that got most of the wow shots from my clients. My clients never complain about the shots I got from this lens. They were always like, wow, really? From this tiny lens? And nobody believed it's from this lens. And even like I love this lens so much, I use it for the talking head shots on my video on this YouTube channel. Like if you see any of my long form videos, most of them were taken with this 45 1.8, right? To me, it's like when you look at it, it's just instantly wow. Like instantly I fell in love. Like I know there are a lot of lenses out there that are perhaps more like technically superior, sharper, has better bokeh, weather sealed, right? Because this is not a weather sealed lens. Like overall in the specs, they're more impressive, right? Like for example, I can easily say 300 f4, that is a really impressive lens from an engineering standpoint. Even the recent like 150 to 400 Pro lens, that is a superb lens. Even the 12 to 100 f4 Pro, that is a fantastic lens, super sharp, fantastic zoom range, weather sealed and everything. But they don't give me the same wow feeling when I use this Olympus 45 f1.8. Every time I use this lens, the shots that I got from it, simply wow. So yeah, this is one of the lenses that really wowed me. I don't think I have other lenses that wowed me from Micro Four Thirds. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of Micro Four Thirds lenses, right? I said already, I love the Panasonic 15 1.7. I love the Olympus 12 to 40 f2.8. I love the Olympus 25 1.8. I also think that the 40 to 150R qualifies as a wow lens, although it's not in my wow lens, but I can see how that can be a wow because nobody expected such a plastic, cheap budget lens can render amazing results, right? And yeah, so let me know what your wow lens is. Like, is it this 45 1.8 or any other lenses that when you use it, you go, wow. I thought it would be interesting for us Micro Four Thirds supporters to come together and just share what we love about our lenses, right? Gregory says, members' comments being read first sometimes get things out of order. Which things out of order? I don't see anything being out of order yet. Rowan Capture says, what would you say your favorite Micro Four Thirds lens that isn't well known? The one that's not well known. I don't have any obscure, rare Micro Four Thirds lenses, right? The lenses I currently have, Panasonic 9 f1.7, Olympus 12 f2. I have the 17 1.8, 15 1.7, Panasonic 25 1.8, 45 1.8, 16 macro, 75 300, 12 to 40 Pro, 40 to 150R. Any other hidden lenses that the kit lens, I have the Panasonic 12 to 32, Olympus 40 to 42 EZAC. Nothing. I don't think there's anything that isn't well known. All these lenses are very well documented. They are pretty much well known. Perhaps the Micro Four Thirds camera that isn't well known that I have is the Olympus Air. Does that make any sense? I know it's not your question, Rowan Capture, but I guess that's not really well known because it's not being sold and everywhere else in the world, right? Gary says Panasonic GM1, GM5 grip looks cool but costs $300 on the used market. Wow, I find the RX100 stick-on grip works fine on the GM. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, right? Whatever grip, you just put it on and I'm sure it works. Rowan Capture says, my friend is jealous that I can take my camera outside when it's raining, only with the 12-50, and she has a Canon 200D. But pretty much all the modern cameras, at least the mid-tier to top-tier cameras these days, are with a shield. It's not just Olympus or OM system now. A lot of other camera systems, Fuji, Canon, Nikon, Sony, they're all with a shield as well. So yeah, nothing really special about that anyway. Rowan Capture says, 45 is really cheap. Yes, for that price. Wow, really, really wow, right? Like seriously, yeah. Amirul says, I dislike the Panasonic 20f1.7, but it's the best alternative is the Olympus 17 or the 25. Well, you can't replace a 40mm equivalent with a 34 and 50. It just doesn't make sense, right? Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. The focal length is the focal length. But the Olympus 17 is, if you love the 35 equivalent, if you are a 35 shooter, then Olympus 17 makes sense. If you're a 50 shooter, then Olympus 25 makes sense. But other than that, these two lenses cannot replace what the Panasonic can do because 40 is 40, right? Yeah. Terry says, so many good lenses, 1240 Pro, 40-150 Pro, 300 Pro, 16 macro, and a fantastic 75 f1.8. Yes, even the 75 1.8, I would almost consider it a wow lens. But I really love using it, don't get me wrong. I use it for portraits, I use it for events, a lot of event shoots. I use it for stage mini concerts, beautiful lens. But yeah, but I feel like between that and 45, I still choose the 45, yeah. Hey Santex, how are you? Nice to see you here, Santex. Kunal says, hi Robin, is the humble 12-45 f4 or the Panasonic 12-60 f2.8 f4 for me? Alright, but if you have a Panasonic 12-60 f2.8 f4, why do you have the 12-45 f4 Olympus? It doesn't make sense, right? Like, both lenses are they overlap. Sunday says, having a good week. It's alright, nothing out of the usual. Came back from JB last weekend, went to do the Recall event, and yeah, I had some jobs this week. Nothing out of the ordinary. Things are, yeah, returning back to normal now. Francis says, 16 macro, great macro shots even underwater with a proper underwater housing. I agree. The Olympus 16 macro is such a fantastic lens, and I'm going to share some shots taken with that lens later here in this live stream. Definitely a wonderful, wonderful lens. Amir says, Sigma 16 f1.7 can goreng. Yeah, I don't have a very positive review about that lens, so definitely not one of the good lenses. Like, it's huge. That lens is monstrous, right? And yeah, no, definitely not one of my favorites. Musician Lucas says, that comment about 40-50R came after my comment. I was surprised. It came before your comments because I read the comments chronologically, unless if you are a member. So technically someone commented about that, right? Yeah. Terry says, I don't own one, but I hear good things about the Lumix 200F 2.8. Coming back to Musician Luca, yeah, perhaps that 40-50R was a member's comment. So I apologize. So it came after your comment. I apologize. Yeah. Yumi says, wow, I never knew about GM1 has 16 megapixel sensor. Yeah, it has. It always has 16 megapixel sensor. It's the second generation Micro Four Thirds camera, right? Kamil Maram says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Robin. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you here. Only two lenses to keep it small and simple. Panasonic 14 f2.5 and Olympus 45 1.8. All right. Yes, the Panasonic 14 f2.5 could have been a wow lens because it's so tiny, right? It's a pancake lens and it's so wide, and it's the f2.5 is not too shabby as well. It's quite bright. Certainly good enough for wide angle shooting because I don't really need that much background blur or shallow depth of field shooting with wide angle lens. It just doesn't look good. So I don't mind having more depth of field, have everything in focus. It's just that the Panasonic 14 f2.5, the image quality is, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Like, there's not much for you to be impressed about. Like, it's decent, it's sharp, the overall is okay, but there's just some purple fringing problems, purple flare problems and issues there and here. And yeah, overall the rendering is just not very pleasing. So unfortunately, right, I guess there's a price to pay when you make a pancake lens. And you can see this problem is consistent with the Panasonic 14 f2.5 and the 20 f1.7. The only problem that they solve from the 20 f1.7 on the Panasonic 14 f2.5 is autofocus. The Panasonic 14 f2.5 autofocus is super fast. It's amazing compared to the 21.7, right? That is like, it's slow. But other than that, the problems with the 21.7, the bad bokeh, the nervous background, purple fringing, all these issues, they still exist in the 14 f2.5. It might be even worse because it's a wider lens, right? Yeah. What do you have, Amirul? Matthias says, for me, it's the Panasonic 45 macro. I really like the pictures it takes. I wouldn't recommend it as a macro or even as a normal lens, but I really like it. Yeah, it's between that and the Olympus 60 f2.8 for macro lens. The Olympus makes more sense for insect macro specifically. If you're doing other kinds of macro like still life, or if you're shooting jewelry or things that don't move, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make a difference whether you use the Olympus or the Panasonic. It's just that the Olympus 60, it gives you a bit more working distance, so you can go to the subject and still get a magnification without going too close, which would scare the bug away, right? So yeah, that's the only reason why I prefer the Olympus. I'm sure the image quality from the Panasonic 45 macro is excellent. Yeah. Yes, 45 1.8 is my beloved. It's my beloved as well. Andrew says the only weather seal I could afford is called an umbrella. Okay. Hey, you know what? 240 f2.8 Pro, I saw someone selling for like 1,002, 1,003. Yeah, let's look at Carousel. That's a weather suit lens. It's not too expensive. I'm sure you've seen it, right? Okay, let's see. 1,002. Olympus 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro 7 days ago. Let's see if any problem. Maybe there's some problems. Function 10 to 10, cosmetic 8 over 10, no fungus, fine speck of dust. That's it, right? So 1,002, there you go. There is someone selling 1,008. I saw one 380. I don't know where is it. Let me sort by recent. Maybe the other one, someone nabbed it already. Someone has have bought it already. Yeah, the other one I saw has been sold off already. Yeah. I mean, from time to time, you get deals like 1,002, 1,005, 240 is weather sealed, right? Andrew says, well, I can say the only weird micro four thirds lens I tried is the Sigma 16 1.4. So big and the outcome is eh. I know, right? Yeah, and I don't know, like, I talk about how I don't like that lens, and a lot of people say, wow, but my lens is so sharp. Wow, my lens is so amazing. I'm like, yeah, well, if you love it, you love it, right? What can I say? I can only share my truthful and honest opinion with you guys. If you guys don't believe me, if you have a different opinion, well, feel free to buy your own opinion, right? Like I'm only sharing what I can. And yeah, we're all different people. So Astrul says, good evening, Robin. Hey, Astrul, nice to see you again. Just drop in again after missing out for 2 weeks. No worries. I guess we all are busy. We have other things to do, right? No worries at all. My favorite lens are the Panasonic 25 1.4 and of course the Olympus 45 1.8. Yeah, I've mentioned how I love the Olympus 45 f1.8. It's my wow lens. Panasonic 25 1.4, not so much. Yeah, and I'm not gonna say why, because the last time I did, well, yeah, there was a nuclear explosion. Andrew says, I'm on a carousel sabbatical for this month. Okay, understand so much on the Panasonic 15. Yeah, if you bought it new, that's not cheap, right? It's like close to 2,000 ringgit. I think cheapest also 1,007, 1,008, right? 2,000 and 2,000 plus. That's not a cheap lens. I got mine, I actually wanted to buy new. I got mine during the pandemic, so it must have been 4 years old now, the lens. At that time, when I got it, I wanted to buy new. And the seller ran out of stock, local dealer, but they told me they have a used unit. Asked if I'm interested to buy a used unit. I said, well, why not? Send me some money, right? I didn't know they have a used unit. They just said, oh, it came in, and if you're interested, they can ship it to me. And yeah, it was during the pandemic, so so yeah, look at that, right? Erkan says, I like the 45 too, but I don't use it because I take photos at short distances, indoors in small rooms. Yeah, different use case scenarios, right? I usually have plenty of room to work with. I shoot outdoors, even I shoot events, the locations are usually large enough for me to stand far away. And sometimes when you're shooting events, you don't want to get the camera and lens right in front of people's faces. You want some distance, some working distance, so people are comfortable, especially if you're like taking spontaneous random shots, right? So yeah, the candid shots where you don't want to be too close, right? You want a working distance. So that's where the 45 1.8 makes a lot of sense. Kamuyat Mariam says, same sentiments on the 45 1.8, really a wow on all you said. Yeah, it is still my wow lens. And the cool thing about that lens, I've mentioned this before, I'm just going to throw it out there again. I mentioned this in my 45 1.8 video, that after I published my first blog article on that lens, that time I don't have YouTube yet, and we're talking about more than 10 years ago now. Man, looking back, that lens was noticed, that article was noticed by Michael Johnston. And if you guys don't know who Michael Johnston is, Michael Johnston runs an online website, photography website called The Online Photographer, or TOP. And he was the publisher or editor in, I don't know what camera magazine, or was it Popular Photography magazine or something, back in the 80s or 90s, that he was the first person he was the one who brought in the word bokeh into the English photography lexicon. And he was the one who popularized the word bokeh, and he defined what it was. He commissioned people to write papers about it and how to pronounce it, how it's being defined. And yeah, so he's the bokeh guy, the guy who sort of like, he didn't invent the word bokeh because it's a borrowed Japanese word, it's not an English word, but he was the one who introduced it into the photography lexicon. So all this was possible because of my article on the Olympus 45 f1.8, because in that article I was talking about how I was impressed and blown away by the bokeh that was created or rendered by the Olympus 45 1.8. So yeah, and it wasn't surprising for someone who actually popularized the word bokeh, and he saw that I wrote so passionately about it. Yeah, that's why he emailed me and we talked for a while, so that was nice. Kamat Maran says, but for now, the wow lens for me would be the new OM System 50-200. That is so awesome. So you bought it already? Wow, congratulations. It is indeed a wow lens. I have one more video that I want to publish on that lens. I'm not even sure if people are going to be interested on that lens. I thought there'll be more interest. I talked about this before, right? My OM System 50-200 lens was a flop. Like, that's the worst performing lens review ever on this channel. Like, right at the bottom, like the rock bottom of all the lenses I've reviewed before. Even this lens, the 7 Artisan 18 f6.3, got better response and better viewership compared to the OM System 50-200 Pro. Even lenses like kit lenses, or what other lenses that got better reviews, like any other of those, really, even my Yongnuo lenses got better views than the OM System lens. Like, my goodness, it's kind of sad. So yeah, I have one more video, but I sort of like not gonna put too much hope. I'm guessing like you guys don't really care about my 50-200 review. Like, I don't even know if I want to do reviews anymore. Seems like, I don't know, like, it's very hard to figure out what people want. Like, I thought I figure out this channel, like there are certain topics that will be popular, like for example tips and tricks on photography, right? Like street photography, and especially reviews, cameras and lens reviews. They have always been like the top viewed content on this channel. If you sort my videos on popularity, you can see that the top viewed videos are always reviews, right? And it's not surprising, everyone loves gear. It's just that, wow, the 5200, I thought it was a popular lens. I thought you guys would love it, but it seems like nobody sees it, nobody cares. So yeah, it makes me question what I'm doing here, whether I should continue doing it or not, I don't know. Amir says, I dislike, okay, I've already answered you this already, Amirul. So guys, if I haven't answered your question, please be patient, and please do not repeat your questions too many times, because if you do, YouTube will flag you as a spam, and you might just disappear. And I can't do anything because I don't even know you disappear, right? It's between you and YouTube. So if you keep repeating the same thing, And yeah, there's nothing I can do for you. Yeah. Wukash says, I have 3 macro four thirds lenses, 9 f1.7, 35 1.8. 35 1.8? It's 45 1.8 Olympus? 35 1.8. There's no such thing as the 35 1.8 Olympus though. So I'm curious what lens that is. I do not have any macro four thirds body to use. And then what are the lenses for? My goodness. Mother says, on an intellectual level, the 14140 f3.5 to f5.8 Panasonic, right? Or is it 14 to 140 f4 to f5.8? Whilst me, but not on an emotional level. Hard to explain. Yes, like if it's not on emotional level, then it's not wow. I guess what you're saying is the 14 to 140 is a great lens. It works. It's functional. It gets the shots. Gives you the results. Right. It's impressive for what it is, but it doesn't give you that satisfaction. It doesn't make you go wow. So this is the question I'm asking. I'm not asking for functional lenses. I'm not asking for what's your favorite or what's the lenses that you like. No, because we can have like 10 different lenses and we like all of them, right? I like all my lenses. If I don't like it, I wouldn't keep it, right? I would sell it off already. But only a handful few can make me truly go wow, right? So the one that you can connect on emotional level, that's the lens that wows you, right? So that's the definition here. Ho says, the lens that made me go wow is the Panasonic 15 1.7. It has a 3D pop, awesome rendering. I agree, definitely. Like if you compare that to the Olympus 17 1.8, I know it's not a fair comparison because the Olympus is closer to 35 focal length, whereas the Panasonic 15 is closer to 28. You can't really compare 28 to 35. They're just very, very different and use these lenses in different case scenarios. But yes, in terms of rendering of the lens, it just looks more organic. It looks there's more depth in the rendering. So I agree with you, Ho. I definitely agree with you. Erkan says Panasonic 25 1.4. Nah, that's the lens that I don't like. If it works for you, no worries. I'm sure it's a fantastic lens. Mukesh says, I always wanted to test 75 1.8 but never got a chance. It's a fantastic lens. I love that lens. Space Lord says, the 60 Olympus macro made me go wow. Yes, if you are a macro shooter, I think the Panasonic 60 f2.8 will rank very high among the best macro lenses ever made. It is simply amazing in terms of image quality and being so small, so light, gives you 2 times magnification. Well, in terms of macro four thirds format, because you have 2 times crop, equivalent magnification, right? And it's still f2.8, which is relatively bright. You can use it for other situations, and it's weather sealed. Like, come on, it's such a fantastic lens. John says 75 1.8 is a wowzer and vastly underappreciated, wickedly sharp, great bokeh, wonderful image quality. I agree. I love that lens as well. I use it a lot for my jobs, definitely. All right, Andrew says, yep, it was 2,000 ringgit during last week in YL Fair. So he bought it at Lao Yat. All right, cool. That's nice. And of course, I think 2K is quite a very, very good price already. It used to go way higher than that. So yeah, congratulations on the purchase. And it's such a small lens. It goes better with Panasonic bodies because of the aperture ring, right? If you put it on your Olympus bodies, it just doesn't work. Sadly, right? Yeah, brand new. James says, using the E300 lately for fun, and WOW lenses are the 4/3 Olympus lenses, heavy but very sharp. You have the 50 f2, and for the EP7, that's sort of the lens outweighs the lens, the camera. But if you use the 50 f2 lens, that lens is already a very slow lens to begin with. It's a slow lens for the 4/3 DSLR system, right? So if you use it on micro 4/3, it's not going to get any faster because it wasn't a fast lens to begin with. But using it on EP7, which doesn't have face detection autofocus, unlike the OM1 or the EM1 series cameras or the EM5 Mark III or the OM5, the face detect would help with the autofocus for these older 4/3 DSLR lenses, which were designed for DSLR, right, with face detection autofocus system. The 50 f2, once you use it on the EP7, it's just it will rely on the contrast detect, which is very, very, very slow. I wouldn't think that the 50 f2, the autofocus would come close to somewhat reliable or usable. I don't know. I wouldn't use it on the EP7. Hey, I would use the 45 1.8 on the EP7 instead. That would have been a wow lens. Yeah, Hey Van, how are you? 45 1.8 together. Van went to the Fuji X-T30 Mark III launch, or I think they don't call it Mark III, right? It's X-T33 launch today in Malaysia, which makes me question Fuji. Like, this is not the first time this happened. Fuji Malaysia, if you're listening, I'm asking you directly, what happened to you guys? Like, why are you launching a product a month later? Because the Fuji X-T33 was officially released worldwide in October 23rd. Today is November 20th, right? And you are launching it 4 weeks later. Why? It's a media event. For the media, those news is already outdated. What happened to you, Fuji? News is supposed to be news, right? 4 weeks later, it's not news anymore. And I attended Fuji events before, so I went to the XT50 launch as well as the Fuji GFX something, I can't remember. And I remember I've already made a video about the ST50 because after it was launched, just a few days later, the camera was already available at the retail stores for touch and try. I made a video. You guys can check the video that I made, right? And 1 month later, exactly 1 month later, and then there was this official Malaysia launch. So typically media or influencers or YouTubers or content creators or photographers are invited to this event so that they can help spread the news. And I do want to help Fuji, right? So I went to the event and they talk about the camera is just launched today. Like, although it was already a month or this, oh, now we have this, now today we have this. I'm like, no, you already have this 1 month ago. And it's like, oh, if you can help us to do this, I'm like, I've already published my video. Like, what else is there for me to do? If I were to wait that 1 month, the view is gonna drop until worse than my OM System 50 to 200 reviews viewership, right? It's just gonna do worse than that. It's too late, too late. Anyway, Fuji, I hope you guys know what you guys are doing, Fuji. I wish you guys well. Andrew says, my next probable investment will be the Panasonic 9. I've tried a few times and pretty impressed with it. It is a fantastic lens. I think of all the wide-angle lenses, this is the one that is a little bit unusual because wide-angle lenses like this, typically wider than like 10 millimeters, you don't get such a bright aperture, and they don't make it that small. Typically, it's larger, unless they make it f4 to 5.6, right? Like 9 to 18, then you can make it small and compact, right? And collapsible design. But other than that, it's usually large. If you're on an f2.8, even the f4 lens like 8 to 25, or the Panasonic 8 to 18, f2.8, f4. It's not that small. Like, all these wide-angle lenses are incredibly large, and of course this 9 millimeters suddenly is so small, so light, weather sealed, and it's f1.7. So it's like really it breaks all the norms of what an ultra wide-angle lens design should be, right? Which is really cool, by the way. Mika says, my wild lenses are the 300 f4 and the 45 1.2. Fantastic lenses. These are the pro lenses, and I think Olympus was very proud in making these lenses. Mika says, I know that views are important on YouTube, but I really do like your reviews. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm just ranting out loud because I do put a lot of effort in my reviews, and I spend a lot of time getting the sample shots and plan and shoot the talking head and edit and make sure everything is right. And sometimes you guys don't see this. Like, if I said something wrong, or if I don't like the video, I'll redo the whole thing. I scrap the whole thing. I go out the next day and redo the whole thing, right? So like, I spend 1 day doing the video, 3-4 hours going out to do the talking head, come home, put everything together. I don't like it. Next day, I just throw everything away and start over again. You guys don't see it. Sometimes I do it 2 to 3 times. And at the end of the day, it's 1 to 2 weeks work. And I'm not being paid to do this. So the least I could do is just get some viewership, right? And it's kind of sad when, like, I put so much effort and I thought the video is going to do well, and it doesn't do well. It's kind of sad, right? Andrew says, I would love the Panasonic 20 to 50 f1.7 when I need to sell a liver for it. That lens is just ridiculous. At that size, also, have you seen the size of that lens, right? I'd rather carry a 25 1.8 and 45 1.8. You get what I mean? 2 small lenses, I can just swap lenses or just use 2 small camera bodies. It's just so much more convenient, right? Compared to the 25-50. And the price just doesn't make sense. Yeah. Ryan Capture says, is Cluster F the best mode for fast-moving subjects on the EM1 Mark II? I wouldn't say it's the best mode. I think the continuous autofocus works regardless of what modes that you use, but the cluster allows the camera to find the subject wherever they are in the frame. And it works well if the subject is only singular. There's only one. If you have, let's say you're shooting a tennis player, then the cluster autofocus works perfectly. But if you're shooting football or rugby or basketball, I think the cluster autofocus will be confused. There's just too many people within the frame. It's hard for it to find just one and lock on that one, right? So yeah. Okay, Andrew says, is the Panasonic 15... The Panasonic 15 looks incredibly cute on the GM1, but I couldn't stop fidgeting the aperture ring. I need to stop it. It was designed for GM1. They will launch at the same time together. It's as if the 15 1.7 is made for the GM1. And if you tried the 20 f1.7 on the GM1, that lens is like, the diameter is bigger than the GM1. Like, I don't know if you've seen the 20, it's actually bigger. Which is weird. So the 15 1.7 is made just to fit the GM1 perfectly. So yeah. Okay. Let's get to non-members. Amaro says, I have the 45, which is my favorite so far, the wildest of all. It's my wildest of all as well. I agree with you, Amiru. Christoph says, hi Robin, after my last trip, my favorite lens is the Olympus 9-18 f4-5.6. It's very lightweight and delivers great wide-angle shots of landscapes and city streets. That is a fantastic lens. I love that lens until I have the Panasonic 9 f1.7. And to be fair, I know that the Olympus 9-18 is an old lens, and it's been around for a long time. And that lens, now in the used market, you can get a very low price, right? So it's not really fair to compare. But when it was launched at that full price, at a full retail price, it's actually about the same price as the Panasonic 9 f1.7. Think about that. And Panasonic 9 f1.7 is weather sealed, it's smaller. I know it's not a zoom lens, it's fixed, but it has f1.7. f1.7 versus f4 to 5.6, which is a huge deal if you do a lot of low light, right? So yeah. John says, of course, the 12-100 is also a monster lens, a god lens. When I first mounted it on my EM1 and thought the camera was broken, the image was so stable. I know, right? The dual IS, the 5-axis sync IS benefits. Kalu says, hello Robin, hey Kalu, how are you? I love the Panasonic 12-32. I took it for a trip to London instead of the Olympus 12-40 f2.8. It allowed me to shoot one-handed easily, umbrella in the other hand, of course. That's the thing, like, I love pro lenses. I love large and heavy lenses as well. Like, I love using 12-40 f2.8 Pro, especially for my jobs, right? But if I'm traveling, if I'm doing street photography, I don't need the best of the best. I'm not shooting in low light conditions. Even when I'm shooting in low light, I don't really care about noise because it's my photographs, right? It's my travels. So that's where convenience matters more than ultimate quality. That's where I don't mind a little bit of compromise. Like, I don't mind not having f2.8, f3.5, 5.6 is fine. I don't mind the lens not being that sharp or doesn't have weather sealing. 12-32 is perfectly fine, but it's just so tiny, right? And yet the lens, it gives you great results. Yeah. Nam Hua says, two lenses I've used before that I found unusual was the Panasonic 45 f2.8. I'm guessing that's the macro lens. And 45-200. I didn't like them initially, but now I think they are alright. I'm bad at using 60 f2.8 to shoot insects. Why? The Panasonic 45, you need to go closer, right? If you go closer, then you just scare the insects away, right? So what's wrong with the Olympus 60 f2.8? Please elaborate. Later I'll share, in about 7 minutes, I'll share my photographs taken with the Olympus 60 f2.8 just a few hours ago before the sun sets, right? So I managed to grab some shots. So yeah. Amir says, even though the Panasonic 20 f1.7 has its flaws, especially just the autofocus, I got a hang of it. Sometimes I'm happy with the output. Yeah, I talked about this before. If you haven't seen my video, feel free to check it out. It's not so much of just autofocus. It's just the rendering of the lens is very flat, very poor contrast. The image doesn't look very good. Yeah, it doesn't look natural. It seems, I don't know, there's no, like when you look at a photograph, whether it appeals to you or not, whether it looks nice or not, the rendering is very important. It's not just the sharpness or bokeh or technical control, right? There's a lot more than that. Like, how does the image render? And that 28.7, the rendering is not something that I like. Yeah. Kamil Maram says, bought it in my dreams. Are there any recommendations that is better and compact for the Panasonic 14 f2.5? No, I think that's the only. This is a very unique lens. There's no other 14 equivalent 14 lens for Micro Four Thirds, right? Olympus doesn't have it. Sigma doesn't have it. No other third-party manufacturers. So there's only one Panasonic 14 f2.5. But I have substituted that with an alternative, not smaller, not more compact. It's bigger. Slightly bigger, but it's better, definitely better, which is the Panasonic 15 f1.7. Yeah, Ho says, and the reader's lens I know for Micro Four Thirds is Tokina Reflex 300 f6.3. Yeah, but no autofocus, no go for Robin. Servin says, I bought the TT Artisan 40 f2 for my ZF, and it gave me the wow. Okay, I was in complete denial because it was so cheap, so much character. I like it in the lens, like the Panasonic 25 1.4. Yeah, I have the Nikon's 40 f2. Was it you, Serafin, who told me that you don't like the Panasonic 40 f2, or was it someone else? I can't remember. Someone else told me that he doesn't like the Panasonic 40 f2. I still have the Panasonic 40 f2. Yeah. Dan says, hey Robin, I saw your amazing review for the Panasonic 15 1.7 and pictures posted on your website are gorgeous, so I bought it and it is indeed a wow lens for me. I'm glad that you like the lens and thanks for the views on my blog and the YouTube, and yeah, I'm glad that I helped a little bit in your decision of getting the Panasonic 15 1.7, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the lens. I see that the lens has become a wow lens for you. I have continued to use that lens recently, especially on my GM1 for my street photography. I treat it as a 28 millimeters. I know it's not the same as 30, but it's close enough, right? Just move back a little bit to make it like a 28 millimeters lens. Okay, let's see. Andrew says, oh yes, I have the Panasonic 20 fitted on the GM1. It's so ridiculously looking. Yeah, it's like the diameter is a bit bigger, right? John says, hey Robin, from near Manchester, UK. Hey John, how are you? Good to catch up live for a change for me. No worries, I'm very happy to see you here. Thanks for dropping by. I'll get to a few more chat and then we'll go with the photo sharing for tonight. I have a set of macro photographs to share. John says, oh, in the 17 f1.2, what a perfect street lens for night work. Yes, that is a fantastic lens. Lip Gloss Eater. Such a nice handle. This may be an odd one, but there's something magical about the 12 f2 lens rendering that makes me love it. Yes, that is a wonderful lens as well. I hope they update it soon, perhaps make it weather sealed. I think it definitely needs a weather sealing, and I think the price needs to come down a little bit more. Because now, I know that 12 is 12, right? Because we have a Panasonic 9 f1.7. When people compare these two lenses, and if you're going for wide angle, people will go for wider lens and brighter aperture and weather sealing. So that's where the Panasonic 9 f1.7 wins. And it doesn't help that the Panasonic 9 f1.7 is cheaper than the Olympus 12 f2 at full retail price comparison. I don't know what's happening in the used market. Maybe the Olympus 12 f2 is cheaper because it's much older. It's more than a 10 years old lens now. So yeah, I can find one in the used market at a very good price, but at full retail price, that lens is really expensive. So yeah, I like the lens. I've used that lens a lot for my vlogging on the second channel. Yes, I have a second channel, which is not active, by the way, until I found the Panasonic 9 f1.7, which just completely replaces the Olympus 12 f2. Christoph says, if I want one and universal lens with the best image quality, I'll take the Olympus 17 f1.2s. Some weight, but always great photos in any condition. Yeah, I guess that's the reality, right? If you want quality, you just have to sacrifice something. Lens cannot be too small, cannot be too light. You know, that's just it. If you want brighter aperture like f1.2, you can't expect a pancake design, right? It just doesn't make sense. That's where like a lot of people complain, oh, but the 17 f1.2 is so chunky, it's so big. I'm like, yeah, but it's f1.2. Like, do you want f1.2? Do you need it? If you want it, if you need it, then it is what it is, right? It's just physics. Yeah, so I get it. Like, you see, those who have used it, they'll know this is what you get. Yes, the size is big, the price is not that friendly, but you get the quality, right? Andrew says, oh, I forgot to mention I got the Panasonic 15 because of Robin's video. It wouldn't be in my radar. Yeah, you see this rendering, right? This is all 15.1.7 Panasonic. You're seeing this every week, right? Angus says, hi Robin, hey Angus, how are you? I'm pleasantly surprised with the Olympus 14-150. It is quite sharp and contrasty, so a wild lens because unexpectedly great. Yeah, if you just want one lens to do it all, if you just want that lens to be the what you call that, if you don't want to carry multiple lenses, right? You want a general do-it-all lens. Yeah, the 14-150, why not? And it is, I don't know which version you have, Angus. If you have the Mark II version, it is weather sealed, right? So there you go. One of the few non-pro lenses that are actually weather sealed, which is fantastic. Sorry, I forgot to say from Victoria, Canada. Hey, Angus. No worries. Let's do one more comment. Amrul says, my wall ranking 45.8, Panasonic 21.7, 14-150 f4 Pro, Panasonic 1260 f2.8, and Olympus 4042. I think you're ranking your favorite lenses, not the wow. Like, I don't think all these lenses will give you the wow, right? Wow means that when you take a photograph, you just go mind blown, like wow. Anyway, I'll put a pause here because it is already 11 o'clock. I need to drink some water to stay hydrated. I've been talking for 1 hour non-stop. And yeah, I'm gonna do my photo sharing soon. All right. Okay, so earlier I went to the park. I brought my OM1. I can't show you the OM1 because I only have one OM1, and the OM1 is my streaming camera. So the Olympus 60 f2.8 is mounted on my EMR Mark II. So I've always loved the Olympus 60 f2.8 macro. I always said that this is one of the best macro lenses out there. I made multiple videos about this. I will continue to make a few more videos on this lens, and I'll talk a bit more about macro in my coming videos. I've only owned it recently. I think I got this like maybe about a year now, more than a year now. The reason was because I don't make money from shooting macro. Instead, macro has always been just hobby, something that I do for fun. And when I was working for Olympus, I have full access to the gear. Even after I left Olympus, I was invited to become the Olympus visionary. I was the ambassador. So I have full access to the gear. So I have certain cameras and lenses that are on long-term loan, right? So the Olympus 60 f2.8 was one of it. So I've always had that lens. The lens was with me. I have it with me, but it wasn't mine until like about 1 or 2 years ago. Maybe it's been more than 2 years now. More than 1 year now. Maybe it's about 2 years. I can't remember. So I found one in the used market at a very good price, ridiculously good price. I couldn't resist, and I knew how amazing this lens was. So that's why I got one, right? So, and I still think that it's one of the best macro lenses out there. It's so small, so light, it's so sharp, and this dial has gotten a lot of bad reputation. A lot of people say, like, you know, why the one-to-one full magnification shortcut doesn't stick. Of course it doesn't stick. Like, how do I explain this to people? The purpose of that one-to-one shortcut is for the lens to just go quickly to full magnification. If your lens and camera is in autofocus mode, if you move the camera away from one-to-one magnification because you move the camera away, right? And when you refocus, it doesn't stay at one-to-one. How can it stay at one? It doesn't stay at one. The only way for it to stay at one-to-one is manual focus. Don't use autofocus. Then it'll stay at one-to-one. It won't move away unless you move the focusing ring, right? So if you want to use single autofocus, that one-to-one acts as a shortcut. So when I go near my subject and I know that everything is out of focus, I use this dial to quickly bring me to one-to-one. Then I use the autofocus. It helps. To me, it works wonders. And the position at the side is just perfect as the way I hold the camera. You can see, I just turn it and it just goes to one-to-one and I can just take the photo like that. To me, the dial makes sense. But a lot of people seem to misunderstand or misinterpret the dial and seem to think that it's a flawed design, seem to think that it is broken and it's badly designed and it should have been done better. No, I think it's perfect. It is perfect. when you understand how it works, when you understand what it is, when you use it as it's intended for you to use, that dial is perfect, right? And I'm not defending, because I don't see it as a flaw. Like, the biggest question is, why doesn't it stick to 1:1? It can't. How can it stick to 1:1? If you move the camera away, it's no longer 1:1. And the dial cannot physically move the camera and lens to the subject or away from the subject, right? The dial is just focusing, right? It's just focusing. And focusing doesn't affect the magnification. The magnification is how far you are from the subject. You have to physically move yourself, right? Anyway, I've talked about this already. I'm just frustrated because I get this comment a lot, like, Robin, the dial is broken. Robin, the dial is a problem. Robin, they should have fixed the dial. There is nothing to fix. Okay, enough. Let's go to the photos. Gotta go out from here. Hopefully this works. Okay, just gonna show the, I know this is tiny. This is very, very small. Let me just hide this if I can. Taskbar settings, hide taskbar in desktop mode. All right, I know this is tiny, but you can see that on the right hand side, the camera is OM1, lens is 60mm. This was shot at f7.1. Shutter speed 1/250th of a second, ISO 200, because ISO 200 is the base ISO. Flash was fired compulsory. I used the 8K diffuser flash. Special thanks to Emily Toppin from the US, the OM System ambassador. She sent me the 8K diffuser. I'm just using this because it's easier to set up, and I just want to run and gun. I only had about 2 to 3 hours to get this nearby my park. So the cool thing about this park is that it's the same area where I used to do all my talking head shots. And I've done a few macro sessions there before. It's just that I never explored deep enough. And the thing about macro is that if I start at point A and the end is point B, right? I'll probably only walk about 20 to 30% of the park, and it's already 3 hours. Because I'm not like walking non-stop. I have to slowly look for insects and bugs to shoot. When I found one, I'm basically stationary and not moving, right? Until I get the shot and then move on. And I walk at a very slow pace, trying not to miss anything at the bush, the branch, the leaves, whatever they can find, right? All the insects. So 3 hours walk will get me to about like 20-30% of the park. There's still like 70-80% of the park that's undiscovered or I haven't walked. So today what happened was, instead of starting at point A, I went all the way to point B, the end, and then walked backwards. So I sort of like explored the entire area, and I found some really cool stuff. So this is the end. All right, I'm gonna, just the typical red end. There's a lot of them. Just gonna zoom in and see the details. Now, if you don't go wow, I don't know what will wow you. Look at the details. Look at that. Like, seriously, this is the, yeah, 60 f2.8. Like, seriously amazing. And jumping spider, of course, I have a lot of jumping spiders. I follow this spider around. I got a few more shots of it, which I will share. And I don't like this shot, but I've shot it anyway because, okay, here's the thing. I don't like this shot because the spider was standing on a metal pipe, a steel pipe. Right, so you can see that's a steel pipe, which makes it very unnatural because I want the spider to be in a more natural surroundings with greens, with whatever that's in the park, a flower or whatever, or branch, not on a metal pipe. But the cool thing about this metal pipe is because the flash fires from top down, like I'm firing from the top, and the metal pipe was white, it sort of like double reflects. So the light is coming out from the top and it reflects back up. So it gives this very nice wrap around light around this the spider itself, which is really cool, right? Zoom in to see the details. And yeah, I should go back to my previous method. I know my method is a bit more cumbersome because it's a single-handed wireless flash with a softbox, but I don't like the shape of the 8K diffuser as reflected on the eye of the subject or the spider. It just makes it look very unnatural. Yeah, the square box, softbox that I normally use looks a bit more natural. Yeah, so there you go, jumping spider. So then the spider keeps moving, and I don't understand how people can stack. The spider just move and move and move. Like, this is 5 seconds later, so I took this one shot. Like maybe 5-6 seconds later, it's jumped to this leaf already, right? It just keeps jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. It's crazy. It doesn't stay still at all, right? So yeah, there you go. Like, that's why it's called a jumping spider, right? And the cool thing about jumping spider is that they are so inquisitive. They are very curious. They are very friendly. They are not scared of humans. They don't run away. There are a lot of other spiders that are very skittish. Like you go near them and just immediately hide. But jumping spiders, typically they will jump on you, right? Some of them even jump on my lens before. So yeah, and yeah, jump on the leaf here, right? So you see from here, this is a different leaf altogether already. Look at that, right? And yeah. This jumping spider, let's just follow it around, right? Yeah, it is about F8, I think. Yeah, I could have gone F10, F11 for better depth of field, but I think F8 is sufficient already. It's good enough to have the whole head, the fangs and everything, like the front legs are in focus. I think that's sufficient for me. I'm happy with the depth of field for this shot. And go a little bit closer. So once you go closer, then you lose depth of field. So the head and the eye are still in focus, the eyes, but the fangs at the front is already slightly out of focus. So for this, I could have gone maybe F11 to have more depth of field. But then again, the spider just keeps jumping. I just have trouble keeping up, like following the movement of the spider. And yeah, I mean, yeah, and I did not intend to go that close because, yeah, so there you go. And fruit flies. Having some fun time. Here we go. Look at that. Like, if this doesn't wow you, I don't know what will wow you. Like, seriously. Look at that. All right. Fruit flies. Fruit flies. Getting it on. Yeah. And this is my first time seeing this. I had no idea what it was, but it looks a little bit like grasshopper. I did some research. Is longhorn grasshopper or is it sickle-bearing cricket or something? So I don't really know if it's a cricket or the grasshopper. The Google identification is not really accurate, but it's a catadid family, so it belongs to catadid, which makes sense. But if you zoom in closer and look at the face or the eye, it does look a little bit like a grasshopper. But although this is not a grasshopper, it's not a grasshopper. It looks very weird, right? It looks very strange. When I look at it, obviously I have to come to the side of the leaf to get this shot. When I look at it from the top, it's just like something poking out. The only reason I thought it was an insect was because of the legs. The legs was the telltale, right? If I didn't see the legs, it could have been just like a leaf or a plant or something poking out. Yeah, that's like one of the very effective mimicry or camouflage techniques, which is really cool. Yeah, this is my first time seeing this. Or maybe they are around all the time, I just didn't pay close enough attention. Well, how am I to know this is an insect, right? And hey, look at how thick my glasses are. I don't exactly have the best eyesight out there. So yeah, obviously I missed it, right? So don't blame me, I have really, really poor vision here. So kind of sad, right? Being a photographer, not having like the perfect vision or better vision, right? Yeah. Anyway, another spider. This is like a two-stripe jumping spider or something. I can't remember the name. Yeah. This was skittish. This keeps jumping away. And the funny thing is, it just plays hide and seek. So you'll go underneath the leaf. So I'll go down, and you'll come up again. Then I'll go up. Then you'll go down. I'll go down, it'll come up. So it's like, it keeps jumping. But it's not like if I go down, you'll jump out immediately. It'll stay there for a few seconds. So just that 2 or 3 seconds, I need to quickly grab the shot, right? So yeah, that's just enough for me to like make a quick shot before just, you see like it's already at the edge of the leaf. It's already wanting to jump off or go underneath the leaf. So yeah, so I got this like just the second before the spider moved away from sight. And they are so fast. 1 minute they're there and 1 minute they're not. This is the shoebug. So when I saw this, I did not know it was a shoebug. I've shot shoebugs before, but a different shape and different size. The one I found before was a lot bigger than this. This was small. So I guess like when it was younger or smaller, or maybe it's a male and female thing, I have no idea. They look different. And I guess when it became bigger, it just doesn't look the same at all. So I look at this like, wow, is it a beetle? It doesn't look like a beetle. What kind of insect is this? Just looks so weird. So yeah, this is a shoebug. After I've done some Googling using the Google Lens to identify what creature this is, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah. This, I thought, was a wasp, right? Or a hornet or wasp. Not hornet, but I thought it was a wasp, but I was wrong. This was a harmless creature. This was a hoverfly. And I've seen this a few times, just never really caught one or shot one before. This is a hoverfly. and it's totally harmless. It cannot sting, it cannot bite, it doesn't have anything that can harm a human or penetrate your skin. This is a hoverfly, like totally harmless creature. And it was not small, by the way, it was quite large. You can see how I can feel the entire frame of it. It was quite large, and because it was so large with the yellow and black abdomen, right, at the back, it looks like a wasp. And after doing some research, yeah, that's the defense mechanism. That's how it scares people or other creatures away, right? Other insects away by telling you, hey, I'm dangerous, but I'm not. People say animals don't lie. I disagree. They lie all the time. Like saying, hey, I'm more dangerous than I am, right? Like so yeah, they lie. This is Mitch. Looks like a mosquito, but it's not. Right? This is a Mitch fly, not fly, it's a Mitch. Yeah. I wanted to get from the side, so this was from the top, but as I moved to the side, it flew away. So that's the reality, right? Sometimes you don't have a lot of chances to shoot all these insects. They move, they fly, they jump, they crawl, they just disappear, right? It's not like it stays there and poses for you all day long. No, right? It's naturally, if you move, they move, right? So yeah. And this is a brutal scene. So in the middle here, that's a caterpillar, right? Still alive, by the way. It was moving. This caterpillar, it was about to be torn apart by this army of red ants. Look at that. I think the caterpillar just ended at the wrong spot. This was the colony, or this where all the red ants are. And I got bitten by the red ant a few times today. It was painful. Imagine like dozens of them coming at you and gonna chew you apart. That is just brutal. So anyway. Orb weaver spider. Yeah, orb weaver spider. Spider. I love spiders. This is the one that with the web. But too bad this one doesn't have the patterns. Like normally you have those white and yellow patterns around the web. They will have some weave around the web, which is really cool. Scientists don't really know what those patterns are for yet. Yeah. This is a pepper wasp. Now this is a wasp. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this in focus. It was moving, flying, stopped for like a second, flies again, stop for a second, flies again, stop for a second. I don't know how people stack, really. Like, okay, just stop here for a second, it flies away again. So I just managed to get this, but this was out of focus. Not really 100% out of focus. Like if you just zoom in, you can see the eye is not in focus. Yes, I make mistakes. Not all my shots are perfect, right? But I still want to show this shot because, yeah, I just want to show people that, you know, like, people ask me, Robin, why don't you stack? Like, I don't know. I don't know how. Is there a way for you to communicate with, hey, Waps, can you just, you know, stay there for like 10 seconds? I need to stack you with, you know, like 12 shots or 20 shots, whatever. Like, don't move, right? Can you just, it would be so nice if you just stay still for like 1 minute, you know, like perfectly still. Don't move your head. Don't turn your body, you know, like don't crawl in front. Just stay perfectly still for me to like stack. Like, come on. Like, if you have that kind of skill, if you can teach me how to do that, I would love to do my focus stacking as well. Yeah. 4-ring butterfly, common 4-ring butterfly, right? Look at that. Look at that. Look at the details. It's amazing. Look at the wings. It's amazing. Look at that. And same butterfly, maybe not the exact same one, but a few of them flying around, but going in to dig the flower for the pollen or nectar or whatever. You can see like the pollen is on the butterfly itself, and there are ants. I hope they are ants. They're ants, right? Or this could be spiders. I think they're ants. There are ants on the flower itself. So yeah, there you go. This is beyond 100% already. Let me see. This is 100%. This is 100%. Yeah. 1-to-1, right? So this is like maybe 150% magnification. And the last shot of the day. Last shot. So this was orb weaver spider again. Another example of how sometimes you only have one chance. So I shot this, and I think there was an insect that came quite close. and the spider got spooked. So what? I can't see. This is so small, by the way. It's so small. I can't see it. The spider actually went behind the pattern of the web, so I can't see anything because it's hidden. And I waited for 5 minutes, and the spider still doesn't want to come out. I was like, okay, let's screw it. It's already late. I gotta come home, prepare dinner, and get ready for this live stream. So yeah, that's Orb Weaver. That's the last shot for the day. I think that's the last shot. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Pretty wow, right? The Olympus 60F 2.8 macro. Like, look at that. Right. Just gonna go through. Yeah, this is so cool. I've never seen this before. It's my first time seeing it. I think that's the fun of doing inside macro, right? You're seeing some creatures or bugs they've never seen before, and it's like, it looks like an alien, right? Like, come on, this doesn't look real. Like seriously. So anyway, yeah, let's see. And of course, who doesn't like jumping spiders? They are just so adorable, so cute. Like, come on. All right, that's it for the sharing session. If I can bring, let me close this. Let me just bring the taskbar back, and let's get back to the chat. Let me drink more water. Just want to stay hydrated. I hope you guys enjoyed the photo sharing. Yeah. Before I get to the chat, let me just remind everyone that I have enabled membership. With just the price of a cup of coffee, you can support me and you get some really cool perks in return. You get early access to new videos. You can watch my videos 24 hours before everyone else. We have members-only live streams once a month. I think this month's members-only live stream will happen next week. That'll be really cool. It's where you can come in and chat with me more intimately. I will prioritize my responses and replies to your comments, whether it's in my old or new videos. And especially in live streams, I also prioritize my replies to your chat. I have taken down some older videos that are not performing well. I have a feeling that the 50 to 200 review will be taken down soon if it doesn't reach 10,000 views in a month or two. And yeah, some of these videos include lens reviews or camera reviews that are not doing well. Include tips and tricks on how to get sharp inside macro images like what I've shown you earlier. So one of the videos is in the members only. I've taken down tips and tricks on composition, framing, and as well as black and white photography, how to take impactful black and white shots. If you want access to all these videos, you can join as a member. There are other ways to support me besides joining as a member. You can buy me a cup of coffee using this link, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. All the links on how you can support me are in the description below. So any support goes a long way, will definitely keep me going, will inspire me to do more and share as much as I can here with everyone, right? For those of you who have bought me coffee, who have bought from my affiliate links or sent me money through PayPal, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and especially to members, all the members here, shout out to all of you. Without you guys, without your support, there is no Robin Wong. So thank you so much. All right, let's get to the chat. And as usual, I'll go to members first, right? Let's get to members chat. Dan says, the 15-1.7 was my first lens that had a look where I thought, wow, this looks amazing. My new favorite I use is the 25-1.4. I shoot at night a lot, and that lens gets moody night shots. All right. That's cool. Ryan Capture says, do I adjust autofocus sensitivity? No, I do not. I just leave it as it is. Yeah. Ryan Capture says, the annoying thing about photography is my nose is too big to use the electronic viewfinder without pressing it on the screen, which sucks in bright situations. Ah, okay, understand. Ryan Capture says, I remember being forced to do cross-country in primary school when I really shouldn't have been because of medical problems. I tried on a bull and nest and got 6 on a bull and nest and got 6 bites on my stomach. Wow. Okay. Bitten by, what is a bull and nest? I have no understand. I don't know what that is. Bull and nest. What the hell is that? Six bites. What bites? Bull and nest. No information from Google, unfortunately. Sorry, I don't understand what that means. Let's get to non-members chat. Matthias says, I'm still waiting for Panasonic to make a 17-1.4, but that won't happen. 17-1.4. Doesn't make any sense, right? But yeah, if you want a 35 equivalent, yeah, but there's a 71.2 already. Amr says, have you tried 51.7 DJI? No. I don't think I want to because I already have the Panasonic. I'm quite happy with it. Erkan says, which do you think is the best zoom lens? I don't think there's the best zoom lens, but it's the lens that's best suited for your job. If you want a general purpose lens, there's 1240 f2.8, there is 12 to 100 f4 Pro, and then even between these two lenses, like one is range, you have the longer range of zoom, the other is brighter aperture f2.8, so you got to choose what you want, right? Or if you want a longer range of 40 to 150, 50 to 200, then this is 300, 150 to 400. There's all the Panasonic variants as well, even a wide angle zoom. Like, I think all these zooms are different and you can't really compare side by side, and it's not fair to compare as well. So get the right zoom for the right job. Musician Lucas says, I love your energy, keep up your good work. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. David says, 4950 f4 to 5.6 was a wild lens for me when I first starting in the photography. I was surprised with the sharpness and reach, especially for the price. I still have it today. Yeah, we just, I think, was it 2 weeks ago? If you haven't seen my video, I talk about this lens, right? Let me just bring the video up. Let me see if I can open up my channel. Let's go to my video, and yeah, if you haven't seen my video, I talk about this lens 2 weeks ago. Yeah, let's see. Share. Budget lens, pro results. Okay, here it is. So David, if you haven't seen this video, I did this 2 weeks ago. Right. Rowan Catcher says, bull end. Ah! Ouch! Okay. I hope you're not talking about bullet end. Oh my goodness. Because what is bull end? Okay, bull end is different from bullet end. Woof! Bull ends. Wow. The sting can be dangerous. Bull end the same as bullet end? No, bullet end is not the same as bullet end. I think the bullet end is the one that is one of the most painful stings in the world, right? If you're bitten by one, you're advised to just stay still, lie still, and not move for like 10 minutes or something. My goodness. Oh. Tripped. Okay, let's get back to non-members chat. Let's see. Where is it? Jesus says, lately I'm using the Olympus 25 1.8 so much, so not so close, not so far for my street photos. Yes, that is my favorite lens for street photography as well, because I just love 50 equivalent, and that Olympus 25 1.8 is just so tiny, so sharp. Fantastic lens. I get beautiful rendering out of that lens. Gavin says, I just love how the 45 1.2 renders images, gives me the wow factor for my wedding work. Yeah, if you want shallow depth of field, if you shoot a lot in low light, the 45 1.2 is an excellent lens. And if you want that dreamy look, right? Yeah, especially for weddings, which is very desirable. Terry says, I also like the Panasonic 42.5 Nocticron that actually came out before the Olympus 45 1.2. The only thing I wish that Panasonic has done for the 42.5 is to have it weather sealed. If that's weather sealing, that could have been like a fantastic lens, and I would say it's a great contender to the Olympus 45 1.2. But because it's not weather sealed, for that price that you're paying for, it's very hard to justify recommending it versus the Olympus 45 1.2, right? Yeah, you can see where this is going. Yeah. Yes, Serafin, you had the Nikon 40 f2. I love it though. I thought it was fantastic lens. Yeah, I don't know, do I still have the... Let me see. I thought the lens was fine. I don't hate it. But I did a video about it, but I didn't publish it. I did it more than a year ago already. So we had this conversation about more than a year ago already, right? It's crazy. Yeah, so that's the... Let me just quickly jump out first. I don't know why Serafin hated it so much. Alright, so let's see if I can go to slideshow. Okay. I need to pause this. Yeah, this was all taken with the 40 f2. I thought it was fine. these photos are online, so it takes some time to refresh. Yeah, these are not stored locally. I thought it was sharp and fine. Look at the rendering. There's plenty of contrast. Very good distortion control. Like, I don't see any chromatic aberration. And sharpness is very good at the corners. I thought the lens is fantastic. Plenty of contrast. Looks very real. Like, down here, look at the details and everything. It's a fantastic lens. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Just gonna go through a few more. Yeah, flare's not that great. Not very good flare control. Yeah, haze and flare. Yep, not very good. But other than that, if you don't have like direct source of light, I thought it was fine. Yeah, look at the details. It's fantastic. I love the rendering. That's one of the. There's a dust blob here, if you can see it. All right. And all these, they have been downsized to 16 megapixels, by the way, from 24. So the original images have about like 50% more resolution compared to this, 8 more megapixels. So the details is fine. Look at that. It's sharp, decently sharp, right? Look at that. Contrast is good, color is good, right? And rendering is excellent, right? I'm okay with the rendering, no issue whatsoever. Looks natural, looks pleasing, and yeah. Just gonna cycle through all the images. Looks organic to me, looks really good. I don't see there's any issue with this lens. Quite sharp, if you ask me. Right? Of course, it's not gonna be like pro level sharpness, right? And this image you're seeing, it already lost like from 24 megapixels, it's already 16 megapixels, so already lost 30% of the sharpness or the resolution already. And look, I don't know, I love the lens. I thought the lens is beautiful. All right, enough about this. All right, let's get back to to the topic. I don't know, if you hate it, you hate it, right? And who am I to tell you otherwise? R says, you're doing a great job without the coffee. Yeah, I took a nap earlier, so after I come back from the macro, I edited the photographs, and then I took like a 45 minutes nap. So yeah. Jordan says, hi Robin, was there enough wow factor in the 20 f1.4 when we tested it back then? Would it be worth the high price tag considered the downsides? I feel that the lens is sharp. Rendering is okay, not the best rendering from a lot of the Olympus Pro lenses. Certainly the f1.2 lenses render nicer looking images. Not the sharpest as well, but it's sharp enough. The only thing that I wasn't really happy with that lens was the purple fringing. The chromatic aberration control was very bad. It was really, really bad. And to a point where it's problematic and not easily corrected in post. Other than that, I don't have much issues with that lens. I don't like that focal length, 40mm. Although I was too close to 35, which is not my favorite. I'd rather work with the 50 if I have a choice. Yeah. Amir says, I want to know your opinion on using macro lens for portraits. Which one? If you're talking about Olympus 60f2.8, it's a little bit too long. I'd rather use 45 1.8. So yeah, and 2.8 versus 1.8, 1.8 wins. Vince says, so many great macro four thirds lenses, but MT wow lenses? What is MT wow? Olympus 1200 f4 Pro, Panasonic 15 f1.4. I guess you're talking about Panasonic 15 1.7 and Olympus System 20 f1.4. All right. Those are great lenses. Now what says, it's slightly user error. The autofocus sometimes runs when I click the shutter button, regardless of the camera I use, the EM10 Mark IV or EM1 Mark II, except when I use the flash. I can't use continuous autofocus in macro. EM1 Mark II. You can't use continuous autofocus. Okay, let's try. EM1 Mark II. Let's see. Let's pull in a card. Right. I'm on. Well, usually I shoot in manual because I control my flash manually. So, but now, for simplicity's sake, I just use aperture priority. Continuous autofocus. This screen is just so tiny. I don't think you can see anything from here. So yeah. So this is 60 f2.8 macro. This is the EM1 Mark II camera. right? Well, you can see from Yamaha Mark II. Currently see it. And yeah, this is CAF, right? You can see at the side there. CAF. And if yeah, there we go, CAF. So, I don't know. What did you do? What did you do, Namhua? What did you do? But then again, on Yamaha Mark II and Shoot Macro, I just use SAF. I don't use CAF. And at such tiny movements, CAF is just going to be problematic. So, yeah. Why is it? I don't understand what's your frustration. So, how do you use the dial, right? So, there are 4 things on the dial, which technically only have to do 2 things. One is to choose between 0.4 meters to infinity, 0.19 meters to infinity, or 0.19 to 4 meters. So basically, you're choosing about all distance focus, short distance or long distance. When you're doing macro, it's so obvious, you're going to do short distance. So you just set the focus limiter to 0.19 to 0.4 meters to help the lens to optimize the focus so it doesn't rake all the way to infinity, right, when you're searching for focus. And that helps the focusing to be a little bit faster and more efficient. And there is one shortcut, which is 1-to-1. So when you go close, let's say that I'm using whatever, continuous autofocus or single autofocus. When you go close, instead of using the shutter button, right, half press shutter button, I can use the shortcut. You can see the position of the dial is here. You can see it at the side here, right? So I hold the camera close. Let me just hide my face. Way to hide my face. Yeah. So you can just turn this to 1-to-1. And it goes to 1-to-1. Of course, it's not going to be in focus. You still have to move the camera nearer or further away depending on where you are. Sometimes you go too close, it's out of focus, right? So it's a shortcut to help you to estimate where your distance is. The shortcut cannot help you to move your camera. You still have to use your hands to move the camera until it is 1-to-1, right? Like, I don't understand how people don't understand this. And the 1-to-1 doesn't make the image immediately, boom, 1-to-1. No, that's not how it works. How do you get the focus to 1-to-1 is to physically move the camera until its maximum focusing distance or minimum focusing distance, which is the correct terminology, right? It's distance. What is coming back to the basics of photography, right? What is autofocus? What is focus? It's basically the process of the camera determining or calculating the distance between the camera and the subject. The keyword here is distance. When you go to minimum focusing distance on this lens, it gives you maximum magnification. It can only happen if you go to minimum focusing distance at 0.19 meters, which means you have to have the camera fixed at that distance. If you move the camera away, that dial is not going to stick. How is it going to? Anyway, it's very frustrating. To me, it's very simple. I can understand it very easily. But also, like, people say this, right? If you can't explain it, it means that you don't really know what you're talking about. So obviously, I'm not explaining it well enough, but I know how it works. And I have no issue with my macro shots, right? You can see my macro shots. I have no issue with it. So anyway, it's really frustrating. Jeff says, hey Robin, everyone. Hey Jeff, how are you? Very nice to see you here. Let's jump to the members chat. Ranker just says, how do you screen record on your camera? I would like to do that, but I have no idea how. Let me see if I can find the product. So what I used, actually I found this product. It's technically a HDMI recorder designed for gaming, right? So imagine, let's say that your PS4, PS5, or gaming console or whatever, the gaming that you play, you have a HDMI out, and you plug that into a game recorder or HDMI recorder. So record the HDMI feed. There are a lot of expensive ones out there. There are a lot of cheap ones out there, but I can't remember the one that I bought, HDMI recorder. So I've actually showed this before. Where do I get it? Let me see. I can find it. Just give me a moment. Let me see. Just give me a moment, yeah? I'll find the HDMI recorder. Okay, I am back. Okay, so this is the one that I got. Let me just remove this for a while because this clamp is a separate thing. So I don't want you to be confused. So the recorder is just this thing. And I got it for like maybe 80 US dollars, of maybe cheaper than that. 70, 80 US dollars. So basically, it's designed for gaming use. To record games, like if you have PSP or no, not PSP. What was that? The console, Nintendo Switch, right? Or any other game consoles. If you want to record, so there's like HDMI input here at the side. Let me just hide my face so you can see clearly, right? So input HDMI here. So as the camera, so camera has HDMI out. So you can see this live stream, right? This is technically HDMI out into the computer using a capture card. So this is actually a capture card as well, a different form of capture card. So I use the display card, capture card, to feed into the computer. So instead of doing that, I can use that same feed, HDMI out from the camera, and feed it into this HDMI recorder. So what I do is, this clamp, I bought it separately. This just this for smartphone and tablet clamp, by the way. So I clamp it here, like so, right? So it holds, let me see, it holds things together. Wait, that's the wrong way. Yep. Not the quickest way to set up, but it's just a one-time setup and you're good to go. So this is a cold shoe mount, which I can mount on the camera's hot shoe. So this is my EM1 Mark II. So what I do when I'm in the field is that I mount this on. So wait, I need to... Wait, wrong way, sorry. So there's a screen here. Basically, I can see what I'm recording. So here I can like record, start recording, pause or whatever. Screen here. And like the port is up here, which I can connect to the camera's HDMI out. This camera HDMI out, this recorder HDMI in. Hit record, and you record everything on the viewfinder or LCD screen. So I just run with it. So I obviously need a cable. And the problem with this, I've broken so many cables. It is such a pain to use micro. Is it micro? Yes, it's a micro HDMI cable. It's such a pain. That's where full-size HDMI cable is really handy, right? That's why the newer cameras or the most serious video work cameras will have a full-size HDMI port compared to this micro HDMI for the EM1 Mark II or the OM1. It's just ridiculous. It's so hard to work with. I hope that answers the question. I don't know what brand this is. Let me see if there's a brand at the back. Don't know if you can find this easily online. I bought this from China, obviously. I wouldn't recommend this. There are a lot of other more expensive methods. There's no brand. It just says portable 1080p 60Hz recorder. There's no brand on it. It says the model is EasyCap 273. Let me just run a quick search. EasyCap 273 HDMI recorder. There you go, you can find it. 600 ringgit. Wow, the price has risen. It's about 150 US dollars now. Yep, that it is. Let me just bring this to the screen. Where is this? So this is the product that I'm using. You can see this, right? Yeah. 600 ringgit. So it's about 150 US dollars or less than 150 US dollars. I remember I got it way cheaper than this. It wasn't 600 ringgit. So yeah, that's it records to a micro SD card. So hopefully this answers your question about how I record my device. Right. What lens are we talking about now? I'm sorry, which were you referring to? Thanks, Serafin, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Gary says, have always been a 50 shooter, but the Panasonic 9 continues to surprise me. I'm very tempted by Laowa 6. But then no autofocus, no go for Robin. But I can forgive the Laowa for not having autofocus because technically it's still the widest retinier lens, non-fisheye lens, 4 micro four thirds, right? 6. And if you need it, you need it. You have no choice with or without autofocus, right? So let me just put this away. I don't want things to get too messy in my room or on my desk. So just tuck this away nicely. Is it the other way around? All right, let's put this aside. Oh, there it goes down. I'll be right back. Okay. Moving on. Tomato says, good evening, Robin. Hey, Tomato, how are you? Nice to see you again. The detail captured on these macro shots are wow. I think the fact that Olympus engineered the macro lens to have not diffraction softness is also very wow. There is diffraction softness. There definitely is diffraction softness. But I think if you shoot at f8 to f11, it's still perfectly fine. I don't think the softness is noticeable. Even if it is, it's negligible. It's definitely not as sharp as, say, if you shoot at f2.8 or f4. But then again, depth of field is more important. And to me, I'll sacrifice a bit of sharpness. I don't mind the diffraction. If I need the depth of field, I need the depth of field. I've shot at f13, f16, still perfectly usable. I wouldn't hesitate to go narrower with my aperture if I have to. Yeah. No worries, Rowan Capture. Hope that helps. Yeah. Okay. Chuck says, yes, ant bites pack a bigger punch than your size. It's crazy, right? I was bitten by these red ants. So I was like, oh, it's nasty. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. And yeah, that's why this macro lens is truly awesome, right? I really think this is one of the best macro lenses out there, Olympus 60 f2.8. I will be doing a macro video. Not doing, but video is done. What I'm talking about, my tenses. I'll be publishing a macro video next Monday. The topic will be why Micro Four Thirds is awesome for macro photography. I know I've talked about this already, and it's more like me repeating myself, but I also thought that I have a lot of new subscribers or new viewers coming to this channel. I can see on the analytics. And I've done these macro topics like maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago now, in the beginning, right? Why I love macro, why Olympus or Micro Four Thirds is awesome for macro. So I thought I would revisit that topic and share with the new audience, and at the same time explore a new location for inside macro photography. So yeah. Thanks, Jing. Appreciate that. Eric says, the Panasonic 9 f1.7 and Olympus 300 f4 Pro are my wow lenses. I think the extreme focal length offers something unique for Micro Four Thirds. That is something that Jerry Gionis shared with us when we talk about his preferences of lenses and focal lengths and why he used certain lenses. When he's context, he's a wedding photographer. He shoots a lot of people. He does a lot of fantastic portrait shots. And in fact, he's an multiple award-winning wedding photographer and has been regarded as one of the best modern day wedding photographer today, right? I think he's based in 2 locations, LA in the US and somewhere in Australia. Is it Melbourne or Sydney? I could be wrong, Jerry Gionis. His brother was, I don't know which Gionis now, was an Olympus ambassador. But Jerry Gionis is a Nikon guy. So anyway, brands doesn't matter. So he came to Malaysia. I had a chance to talk to him. He's a fantastic guy. He has a very nice saying. He says, to be a better photographer, be a better human first. Let that sink in for a bit. If you want to be a better photographer, be a better human being first. I was like, wow, that stuck with me for a long time. So anyway, so we asked him about his choices of focal lengths and lenses for his portrait work. And he said he will use something that's more exaggerated. He doesn't like normal focal lengths like 50 or 85 or 35 or 28 because it's very normal. If he wants to go wide, he'll go really, really wide, right? Super wide. Like I'm talking about full frame, like 14 or 16, right? If you want to go long, he'll go like 100, 150 or even 200. Like he will go like super exaggerated perspective rather than just staying with like the very basic, very normal looking shots. He said the exaggerated perspective is what makes the photographs give them that impact, the depth, and the wow factor. That's what he said. I mean, it works for him. Doesn't mean that we have to agree. It's just that he's sharing. He's very generous to share his thought process and how he makes his shots. So I thought that was quite interesting coming from a very successful, internationally renowned photographer, Jerry Giones. Yeah. Noah says, Laos 6F2 just arrived. I'm excited for a super wide angle. That's as wide as you can get without any distortion, right? That's the Laos F2, yeah. Original Jumpshot says, hi Robin, hey, how are you? My first time using the 300 F4 Pro really made me stop in my tracks. Seeing the results and unmatched sharpness was unbelievable. A second close place is a 75 f1.8. Yeah, that Olympus 300 f4 is an over-engineered lens. That is crazy, crazy, crazy sharp. It's like super, super crazy. Yeah. Terry says, I swapped my 40 f2 Nikon for the 50 1.8S. Of course, it's an S lens. If you want to talk about like sharpness and bokeh quality and everything, you can't beat that, right? There's a reason why there's an S there. And yeah, I think, was it Nikon launched a new non-S lens, which is the 50 f1.4, which is actually about the same price or cheaper than the 50 1.8, which is crazy, right? And yeah, Chuck says, the States are so bland compared to Malaysia. You have so much color where you are. Well, there's pros and cons everywhere, right? Like, yeah, it looks colorful here, but I'm sure there are other things that you can photograph in the States that we can't find here. And hey, I think the best thing to do is to find the strengths or the uniqueness of your location and exploit it and make the best out of it, right? Georgios. Is that the right way to pronounce your name? Sorry if I got it wrong. I really love 45 1.8. I love it too. My 1442 EZ is totally damaged. Which prime lens suggests me to buy to substitute the 1442? Well, I guess you can look at the Panasonic 12-32. I think it's a fantastic lens. Let me see if I have a video on that lens. I think I have. Just that I'm not sure if I've taken it down. Let's see. Aha! 2 years ago, I think I used this lens on the way to my Kuching trip. I may have my mom's photos with that lens. I miss my mom. Panasonic 12-32mm kit lens. So if you haven't seen this video, Georgios, please check it out. That's my mini review of the kit lens. I thought it was an excellent lens for travel and casual snapshots. The Panasonic 12-32 pancake lens. All right. Let's see, George. I don't know about WOW, but I liked Olympus 12-40. Yes, it's definitely a WOW lens. Sigma 56 f1.4 and 35-100 f2.8. All right, that's fantastic. Chuck says, I really like the wash out sun flare on the Laowa 6 f2. It really makes close-up wildflower shots shine. It's not flare, it's haze, right? Causes sort of like a haze kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, I guess at that wide, at 6mm, you just can't get rid of any haze or flare. It's just impossible, right? And when the stray light's coming from the side, it's just not possible to get rid of it. Yeah. George says, don't sweat your video content in relation to views. Remember, the claw chooses the YouTube algorithm. No, basically how the algorithm works is it depends on the audience, right? If my audience don't watch, then the algorithm won't push it to the wider audience. So whether my videos are successful or not, it's largely dependent on my audience. So if you guys don't watch my videos, I'm dead. You guys are technically holding my balls, right? So yeah, so whether I like it or not, I have to respond to you guys. I have to answer to you guys. Chuck says the 6mm is basically set it and forget it most of the when it comes to focus. Infinity starts at 0.5 meter. Yeah, but then again, I will still focus properly using the zoom to magnify, just to make sure that everything is in text sharp focus, because zone focusing will only help you so much. It gives you the perception of being focused, but when you really pixel pip, some of them may be a little bit soft. And depending on what kind of work that you do, if you're doing like architecture or indoor kind of shoot, not everything is at infinity, right? It's quite close. So just want to make sure that things are 100% in focus. If you're shooting wide open, especially at f2, f2.8, you got to be extra careful. I think if you shoot at f1.6, f5.6 or f8, then it's not such a big problem. But hey, you buy an f2 lens. If I have an f2 lens, I want to shoot f2, right? Go to Frost says, greetings from Germany. We have 16:49. And I go home in 10 minutes. Ah, all right. Time to go home. All right, I've caught up with the chat. Wow. All right. Surprise, surprise. We have 75 people watching. All right. Which is pretty cool. There's a lot of you here. Let me drink water. It's been a while since I drank some water. Gotta stay hydrated. I'll stay on for maybe 5 more minutes. We have 5 minutes to midnight. Any more questions? Yeah. What can I share with you guys? Don't really have any big projects coming except for the big workshop that me, Matti, and Peter are doing next year in March. You guys can still sign up if you guys are up to it. Deadline is at the end of January next year, so you have about 2 months to sign up to consider. All right, that's a big project. Original Jump says, hey Robin, you're almost at 100,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Well done. Thank you so much for saying that. But at the rate of my subscriber count and how many new subscribers I get every month, I think at this pace, we will only reach 100,000 subscribers in about a year. So maybe by end of next year, right? Maybe by end of 2026, we'll reach 100,000 subscribers. Unless some miracles happen, like I get a viral video that goes to 1 million views, then I get like 5,000 subscribers in a month or something. That can happen as well. But yeah, I think the subscriber count is not my biggest concern now. What I want to do is to optimize the content that I put out. Subscriber count is just a number, but the more important number that I'm looking at is the viewership of the view count of each video, because it shows that what I do is it matters, that you guys are watching. If you guys are not watching, then it's telling me that something is wrong with the video and I need to do things a little bit differently. So far the video view counts for my new videos are doing quite okay. It's quite consistent. Only a few videos that are not doing up to expectation. One of them is the 50 to 200 review, which was quite recent. Yeah. Mike says, hi Robin, my wild lens is a 75 1.8. I'm sure it's been mentioned already. Yes, quite a few people love that lens as well, Mike. Original Jump Shot says, it shows how helpful your Micro Four Thirds content has been over the years. Yeah, I feel very blessed, and I feel very grateful to have this platform to talk to a lot of people. And I think this community has been such a wonderful blessing, and you guys are such a joy to interact with. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm glad that what I've done have contributed a little bit to the community, and I'm glad that you guys find some of my work a little bit useful. So yeah, definitely, I'm not going anywhere. I'll continue to do what I can to share as much as I can here. So yeah, thanks for being here. We have a super chat from Gregory. Thank you so much. It's okay to like this video. Gregory, you've been too generous, Gregory. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. Anya says, hi Robin, it's very difficult to choose a wild lens because I love all my Micro Four Thirds lenses. I love all my Micro Four Thirds lenses as well, but the wild lens is the one that when you take a photograph, it makes you go wow each and every time. And to me, it's the 45 1.8. Yeah. Xmina says, since 75 1.8 is short sometimes, is there something longer and fast except Four Thirds 150 f2? There is 200 f2.8 from Panasonic, which is fantastic. But I think other than that, it's just an f2.8, right? Wait, it's a Panasonic 200 f2 or f2.8? f2.8, right? Panasonic 200 millimeters f2.8. Yeah, it's f2.8. It's not f2, unfortunately. Yeah, there's so many missing lenses that they could have, done or come up with, like something between 75 and 200, right? Maybe a 150 f2, a rehash from the Zuko Digital Time. would have been fantastic. Like, you know, we've talked about this, right? The lenses that OM System and Panasonic could have come up with. Yeah. It's okay to like this super chat. Thank you so much. All right, it is 1 minute to midnight. I guess we can call it a day. I've been talking nonstop for 2 hours, or in 1 minute it'll be 2 hours, right? So yeah, hey, Jerry has a comment, so let's read that. Jerry says, I own a lens which Olympus considers just an accessory, 15 f8 body cap lens. It costs 10 euros, but one can get a nice shot with it. Wow, if it's 10 euros, I will buy one as well, but I don't think we can find one for 10 euros here. I think easily in the used market, people are selling at 30 euros. 30 euros at least. So, and at that price, I'd rather get this this 7 Artisans 18 f6.3. So it's 18, which is about 35 equivalent, 36, 35, which gives you the very normal street photography focal length, and it's f6.3, which is wider than f8, and it has a proper manual focusing ring instead of the fiddly lever. And this is made of not plastic, sorry. The 15 f8 is made of plastic, but this is made of metal, full metal construction all over. So yeah, so I think this is, and it's cheaper. Retail to retail, right? It's cheaper. But of course, if it's 10 euros, there's nothing to complain. I can't find it for 10 euros, unfortunately. So yeah. All right, with that, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for staying until the end. I hope you guys have enjoyed the chat. I certainly have. Yeah, what's your wow lens? Thanks for sharing that with me. I hope you guys have enjoyed that short series of Inside Macro Photograph. More photographs coming next Monday. For my long form video, I talk about why Macro Four Thirds is awesome for Inside Macro Photography. Do check that out. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.